You've seen the ships, maybe not up close, but you've seen them. Stacked with steel boxes 4 stories high, longer than the Empire State Building is tall, gliding into a port at dawn. One of those ships can carry 20,000 containers. Everything inside your house came across an ocean on a vessel like that. Your phone, your TV, the shoes on your feet, the coffee in your cup. And here's the part almost nobody thinks about. That floating city, that billion-dollar machine hauling the entire American economy across the Pacific, is run by a crew of about 20 people. 20, that's it. Some of them won't touch dry land for 9 straight months. So the obvious question is, what does a job like that pay? 9 months at sea, no weekends, no days off, thousands of miles from home. You'd assume the money is enormous, and for some of them, it is. But the real answer is stranger than that, because the number on the paycheck and the number that actually matters are 2 completely different things. There are 3 layers to this. The first is the pay ladder, who makes what, and why the gap is so brutal. The second is a legal trick that turns a good salary into a fortune. And the third is the part they don't put in the recruiting brochure, what that money actually costs. By the end of this video, you'll understand why some of the best paid workers on Earth still wonder if they made a terrible deal. Let's start at the bottom. Every crew has a hierarchy, and the money follows it almost perfectly. At the very bottom is the ordinary seaman, the new guy. He does the grunt work, chipping rust, painting, handling lines, cleaning. On international fleets, an ordinary seaman typically earns somewhere between $800 and $1,300 a month, depending on the company and the flag the ship sails under. Sit with that for a second. A man crossing the Indian Ocean, working 7 days a week, might be earning less per month than a teenager flipping burgers back in the States. One rung up is the able seaman. He stands navigation watches, runs cargo gear, and supervises the ordinary seaman. The international floor for this job is set by a global agreement, and as of 2026, that minimum basic wage for an able seaman is about $690 a month. But basic pay is only the skeleton. Add overtime and allowances, and a typical able seaman's total climbs to around $2,000 to $2,800 a month. And here's where it splits wide open. Put that same able seaman on a US-flagged Union ship, and he can pull the equivalent of $70,000 to $100,000 a year. Same job, same skills. The only difference is which flag flies off the back of the boat and whether a union negotiated the contract. That single fact, the flag, is worth more than most college degrees. Above the ratings sit the officers, and this is where the numbers start to get serious. The bosun, who runs the deck crew, earns about 10 to 30% more than an able seaman. The junior officers, third mates, and third engineers climb from there. But the 2 people at the very top, the captain and the chief engineer, are in a different universe entirely. A ship's captain, the master, carries total responsibility for the vessel, the cargo, and every human life on board. On average, a captain's monthly income runs somewhere between $10,000 and $15,000, and on the highest-paying specialized ships, the top end climbs well past that. The chief engineer, who keeps the beating heart of the ship alive, earns almost exactly the same. But not every ship pays the same, and this is the detail that separates the millionaires from the merely well-off. LNG and gas carriers pay the highest wages across nearly every rank, often 25 to 40% above what a basic bulk carrier pays. A chief engineer on an LNG ship can earn $12,500 to $16,000 a month. Do the math on a 9-month contract. A chief engineer on the right ship, at $15,000 a month, clears $135,000 in a single voyage, and he still has 3 months of the year left over. On paper, that's a spectacular living. But on paper is doing a lot of work in that sentence, because we haven't gotten to the trick yet. And the trick is where this stops being a good job and starts looking, for a moment, like the best-kept secret in the American workforce. Here's something most people have never heard of. If you're a US citizen and you spend enough of the year working outside the country, the threshold is 330 days abroad in a 12-month period. A huge chunk of your income becomes exempt from federal income tax. It's called the Foreign Earned Income Exclusion, and for a merchant mariner who lives on a ship in international waters, it's a machine practically built for their exact situation. A U.S. merchant mariner can earn roughly $120,000, essentially tax-free under this exclusion. Think about what that means. A regular worker on shore earning $120,000 hands a serious portion of it to the government before they ever see it. The mariner, in the right circumstances, keeps it. That $120,000 isn't a $120,000 salary. It spends more like $160,000 or $170,000 would back home. This is the number the recruiters love. Tax-free. 6 figures. Months of paid leave. No rent while you're aboard. No commute. No groceries. No bar tabs. Nothing to spend money on for months at a time. You can see why the job gets sold as a shortcut to wealth. And for the disciplined ones, it genuinely is. But every shortcut has a toll booth, and nobody talks about the toll until you're already on the road. Start with the money that flows the wrong way. The certifications that let a mariner work at all don't come free, and they expire. Between required renewals and advanced training, the hidden cost of staying employable runs anywhere from $3,000 to $15,000 a year, which quietly eats $250 to $1,250 out of every month's salary before you even factor in taxes. The paycheck is real, but so is the invisible subscription fee you pay just to keep the career alive. Then there's the schedule, and this is the part the salary number hides completely. That impressive monthly figure isn't for a 40-hour week. On a cargo ship, there are no weekends. There is no Saturday. Seafarers work under intense pressure, heavy workloads, and no days off for months on end. When people back home hear $15,000 a month, they picture a normal month. The reality is a month with 0 days off, watches at 3 a.m., and the same steel corridors every single waking hour. And then there's the cost that never shows up on any spreadsheet. One seafarer put it plainly: 3 months on land is nothing. You can't watch your kids grow up. You come and go like an uncle who visits. The isolation is so specific that crews have their own dark names for it. Filipino seafarers, who make up a huge share of the world's crews, call the work dollar for homesickness, and sometimes prison with a salary. Internet on board is often limited, spotty, and something you pay for out of pocket. Researchers who've studied crews on cargo ships found very little happiness on board, and rising rates of anxiety and depression driven by isolation, fatigue, and monotony. And this is not a soft, abstract danger. Roughly 2,000 seafarers die or are killed at sea every year, a number most people would find shocking for a job they never think about. So now, put the two numbers side by side, the way a mariner has to. On one side, tax-free 6 figures, long stretches of paid freedom, and a bank account most people their age can only dream about. On the other side, 9 months without your family, no days off, an ocean between you and everyone you love, and a body and mind quietly paying interest the whole time. Here's the part that surprises people. Ask a career mariner if the money is worth it, and you won't get a simple yes or no. You'll get a pause. Because the real currency in this job was never dollars. It's time. And time is the one thing the paycheck can't give back. The man earning $135,000 a voyage isn't getting rich off his salary. He's selling 9 months of his life and betting that the 3 months on the other side are worth more because of it. Some win that bet and retire early, mortgage-free, decades ahead of everyone they grew up with. Some look up after 20 years and realize the kids grew up while they were watching the horizon. So the next time one of those enormous ships slides silently into port and you see the containers stacked against the sky, remember there are 20 people up there you'll never meet. They're paid better than you'd guess, and worse than they deserve. and every one of them made the same quiet trade: the best years of their time for the best years of their pay. Now, I want to hear from you. Would you spend 9 months at sea for a tax-free 6-figure paycheck? No days off, no family, just the ocean? Be honest down in the comments. And if you've ever worked at sea, tell us the real number. What did you make, and was it worth it? I read every single one. If you learned something today, hit like, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.